I know we've all asked ourselves, what can AI do? And more importantly, what can't it do? Well, AI can write a book or create a picture or research almost any subject and give you 20 new ideas in just seconds. But here's what it can't do: it can't think independently, it can't guarantee what it tells you is the truth, and it doesn't create anything from personal experience the way you and I do. And that's the key to understanding AI. It can create, it can suggest, and it can do research, but we still have to provide the idea, the input, and the judgment. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly where AI is remarkably good and where you should never rely on it completely. First, it helps to understand where AI gets what it knows. AI learns from enormous amounts of information created by, you guessed it, people. It recognizes patterns in that information and uses that to answer questions and solve problems and create new responses. But it doesn't know everything, and it isn't automatically searching the internet every time you ask it a question. Now, AI can create, but it doesn't create the way a human does. And here's where it will fool you a little bit. You can ask it to create a painting or write a story or come up with something you've never seen before. And in a few seconds, poof, there it is. I mean, it certainly looks creative, and in a very real sense, it did create something new, but there's a big difference between creating something and deciding on your own to create it. If I tell AI, draw me a picture of a 1950s diner on Mars, it'll produce an image that may not have existed before. But that AI agent didn't wake up this morning thinking, I'm kind of inspired to draw a picture of a 1950s diner on Mars. No, that didn't happen. That idea came from somebody like me or another human being. AI can take patterns it has learned, combine them in new ways, and produce something original. And it can be amazingly good at it, but it doesn't have the personal experiences to draw from. It has no emotions. It creates because we ask it to, not because it feels anything. And that's the important takeaway. AI can create something original, but the reason for creating that original work, as it were, still has to come from a human being. Think of AI as an incredibly talented set of creative tools. It may be able to paint the picture or write the words, but in the end, you're still the one holding the paintbrush or the pen, right? So now let's understand this clearly. AI can generate ideas, but it does not have independent thought. AI can seem like it's thinking for itself, and it's an excellent brainstorming partner. Ask it for ideas for a painting, ways to reorganize a room, solutions to a problem you may not have considered. And sometimes the answer comes back will make you think, well, duh, why didn't I think of that? But that doesn't mean AI sat there thinking about the problem after you left. It wasn't curious. It didn't suddenly wonder, hey, I wonder what would happen if I tried this. It doesn't have its own goals or decide what it wants to investigate. AI can only reason through the problem you give it and make connections and suggest possibilities you may have missed. But you still have to give it the problem or the idea. A real person can question accepted wisdom and pursue alternate ideas and decide if the accepted answer may or may not be right. AI can help with that process, but it doesn't independently decide to pursue that question in the first place. A human still has to decide what's worth exploring. AI can help you think, but it doesn't decide what's worth thinking about. And lastly, AI can research and organize information, but it can't guarantee the truth. And this is where AI can save you literally hours, if not weeks, of research, and where it can also get you into trouble really fast. Give AI a pile of information, and it can pull out quickly what matters, compare different points of view, and bring it all together in a nice, neat package. And when it has access to the internet, it can do it with more current sources. However, there's a big problem with that and a big limitation. AI can also misunderstand what it finds or rely on poor sourcing or simply miss something new and important. And sometimes it can repeat something that sounds perfectly reasonable simply because people have been repeating it for years. I mean, AI doesn't have a little warning sign that comes on every time it makes a mistake or uses a questionable resource. And that's why you should never ever confuse with AI found the answer with this answer has been proven to be true. I mean, for everyday questions, that might seem trivial. But if you're making an important decision about your finances, medical condition, legal situation, or even just a personal decision, you may want to double check the source. I mean, AI is really good at helping with the research, but it should be your research assistant, not the author of your final paper. Like I said, AI can do a lot of that research for you, but you still, as a human, have to decide whether the answer deserves to be trusted, or as my family would say, well, further research is needed. Ask it to show it or tell you what its sources are. Make it show its work, like we all had to do in sixth grade math. I mean, the bottom line, AI can create something from a prompt or a command and generate ideas and research information, but it doesn't have human experience, independent curiosity, or perfect judgment. And some would question if sometimes it's even good judgment. That doesn't make it less useful. It just means we need to use it for what it is, a remarkably powerful tool. AI can help with the work, but the judgment, purpose, and final decision still belongs to us, the humans, the people. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Rico, and this is Clicking with Confidence. And as always, please like, subscribe, share, and comment below. And I'll see you in the next video.